Hello and welcome to Bernard's Regards. I'll be breaking down the games for this week and really hope you enjoy it. So, I'll start with my game against the Des Moines Dad Bods, and I think it's going to be a really tight game. I know that the projection is looking on here now about 100 or 22 points difference with me in the positive. But I think I really like Saquon against San Francisco. That's a huge thing. Mark has a beautiful score with Juju going for 16.3. I think Christian Kirk against Kansas City is a really positive matchup for him. And so it'll be really interesting seeing how our game turns out. I like, in terms of my players, I like Ertz against Dallas, and I mean it's a hit or miss, but we'll see how Fournette does in his game back from injury, and we'll see how Michelle does in his game back, because there are players that could be boom or bust. I clearly kept the wrong person in Fournette against McCaffrey, and so it'll be interesting. Really great game against Mark, and really excited that he just had his new boy born. Second game, Mount Olympus Megalodons versus Lagavulin 16. I know the projection is a little screwed on here. We got Tony up by almost 30 points. I think Jonah could make this a game. I like Melvin Gordon against Oakland. I like Duke Johnson against Atlanta. Atlanta's defense has not been good, especially for pass-catching running backs. I think he has options. Michael Thomas has been almost the best wide receiver in all of football, a total stud going against Cincinnati. We got Josh Gordon. Olsen's figured out. Marquise Goodwin, hit or miss. But then you got Calvin Ridley going against Cleveland, which I really like that matchup with Julio and Mohamed Sanu matching up against their top two cornerbacks. So I think Jonah's team has the potential to way overperform his projection. And then you have Todd Gurley going for Tony going up against the Seahawks, who I am anticipating key in on the running game and try to shut that down, which I know is a lot easier than it sounds. But I feel good about Seattle helping Gurley underperform his projection. We have Miami. He's starting two Green Bay wide receivers, so we'll see how that goes. We got Kamara, and then we have David Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see if Tony's players can convert touchdowns with their carries and with their touches, which they've been able to do all season. Then I mean that's really the strength of Tony's team. But if Jonah's team can overperform his projections, which I feel pretty confident about him being able to do, and Tony's lack some of those touchdown totals that they've been able to accrue the rest of the season, I think this could be a very close and competitive game. Next game up is the Kickbacks versus Thundercats. And I actually really like Tony's team in this one with the Kickbacks. He did a great job drafting James White and Tom Brady and Cooper Kupp and Kittle and so much more. Tony's draft was unbelievable. I mean, he did. I wish he would have drafted for me in this league, and I might have done better. So I love Tony's kickback team going into this. But having said that, Gene, frustratingly enough, man, you tied yourself to the Broncos a few years ago and did really well with that. And you hopped on the Kansas City Chiefs this year and last year with Hunt, and it's just been carrying you and really overshadowing you not drafting well in other positions. So we got Mahomes and Hunt. I mean, unbelievable. McCoy's been whatever. Odell's been fine. Keenan Allen, fine. Anyways, I don't need to tear your team down. the Chiefs, you hitching yourself to Mahomes was brilliant. I give you all the credit for it. You with Hunt, I give you all the credit for it. Done. I think you beat Michael, and yes, I'm proud of you. Next, we come to the Gauchos versus the Big D's. While they had an intense matchup earlier in the year, which the Gauchos defiled them in, I think the Gauchos have this clearly won. It is brutal having to play against someone who scored 32 points, essentially, on a Thursday night game. To come back against that, I just don't see it. With Luke, I love his team, but it's just not going to happen. Joe has Zeke as a flex. He's got Tyler Boyd as a flex. Both of those are great options. Luke is running with AP for Tampa Bay, which could get him some points, and Ingram against Cincy, which I don't necessarily see him getting a ton with Kamara as the handcuff there, and then Breda and Howard against Detroit. Detroit, for some reason, has just been throttling Chicago the past few years. And so I'm not high on any Chicago fantasy player this week, just because of their matchup with Detroit. And I don't understand it, but the Lions kind of own the Bears right now. So we come to our last matchup of the evening, the Titan Deviants versus the Horse Sticks. And honestly, I'm not sure. It kind of seems like a toss-up. The Horse Sticks have been the most consistent in drafting good players and then trading them away. So I'm not sure. I think they might have a superstar on their team that they're willing to trade away during the season. And so I'm not sure on that. And they have Chubb, who I like, Matt Ryan, who I love, Baldwin, Seattle, I don't care for, Sanu, totally fine, Kelsey, real plus, Hyde, he's not going to do anything this week. Actually, Alex is going to fucking murder Chris. So that's my projection for this last matchup.